Hello everybody and welcome to another Vintage Cube draft. Fairly weak pack to start here. No broken cards, no fetch lands, nothing too exciting. I think what I'm going to take is Smuggler's Copter. It's definitely a very powerful card at its best in aggressive decks, but it's pretty, as an artifact that's colorless, it can go into almost any deck. Pressures the opponent really well, pressures planeswalkers, gives you card selection. Just does a lot. You do need to make sure you have enough creatures to reliably crew it, but that's not too hard to do. There's a lot of good creatures in all colors now. Yeah, I'll take the Copter. Okay. So this is typically at its best in white and red decks. Just based on power level, I would say in this pack, Narset and Xander's Lounge are both pretty good. All three of these white 1-drops are okay, although none are particularly exciting. This is a good card with Inti. This says whenever you discard a card, you can exile the top card of your deck and play it until the end of your turn. So that's solid. Like, we could take Inti, try to wheel Currency Converter, and have some discard synergies. There's also just like Kolaghan's Command for power level as a pretty good card. Huh. This does put us into two colors, which I don't love. It might just be Xander's Lounge, just like stay open. Like, Grixis is a really good color combination. Weird pack, though. I don't think it's Currency Converter. Actually, well, Currency Converter is really good with Copter, too. Whenever you discard, you can trick. Yeah, this is actually pretty good with Copter. And it lets us stay open, and it gives us potential outs to be an artifact deck. I think I'll do that. This is a card that I think is pretty solid on its own, and then becomes very good if you have things that synergize with it. Wow, okay. Third pick Fable is great. Let's take that. We definitely have some discard shenanigans. I would love to wheel the Inti at this point, but I will take the Fable. Very good card. Ledger Shredder also looks pretty good with what we have right now. But yeah, let's take the Fable. Great pickup. So TBD if we're going to be like a red, really aggressive deck or a little bit more on the mid-range side, but either way, I like the start a lot. I think I'll take the... oh, wait, actually close. Faithless Looting is tempting. It's good with a Currency Converter and I guess with the Inti that we're hoping to wheel potentially. But there's also Palace Jailer, which is just not particularly synergistic with what we have right now, but it's just a really, really good card. Also, seeing this go forth is a bit of a signal. Could go just into Boros. If I already had Inti, I think I would take the Looting. But I think we do want to take the Palace Jailer here. Yeah, seeing this go forth is a bit of a signal. So hoping to be Boros. Now we see City of Traders, Chrome Mox, and Oliphant, all of which are pretty good. Blazing Root Wall is also pretty solid. I'm not going to take it this early, but it's good with these three cards. Oliphant also has synergies with Currency Converter and the Inti that we're hoping to wheel. I think I'm actually going to take Chrome Mox here. All three of these cards play extremely well with the Chrome Mox. City of Traders is okay. If we were monocolored, I would like this a lot, but it's a little bit worse if we're trying to be Boros. Yeah, let's take the Chrome Mox and then try to wheel one of the two red cards. Okay, that's a late Fractured Identity. There's also Fabled Passage, which is okay fixing, although this being a tapped land early is not great. Thalia doesn't look that good here. We have a lot of non-creatures. Karn is kind of interesting. We do have a really high artifact count. There's also a Braid. But I kind of like taking Karn here, actually. Fable also makes artifacts. And also, this is just a really good card. Seeing it go 6th makes me think I'll be able to get a lot of artifacts. So I think I'm going to take this and then try to be like more of an artifact deck. This is the first pack that's kind of a brick. We could take Rite of Flame, which is not super exciting, but it's not the worst. It does let us just be a little bit more explosive. There's 4 black cards in this pack. The best of which for us would be Dark Confidant. So we could take the Bob. I don't think any other of the spells here are tempting. So yeah, Rite of Flame versus Dark Confidant. I'll take the Dark Confidant. We'll see. Like, maybe white ends up not looking open and we just end up wanting to get rid of this and be like Rakdos artifacts. Okay. Harsh Mentor is okay, not super exciting. There's Lightning Greaves, which also doesn't look great with what we have right now, and then Soul God Lantern. So are we trying to be like more of an artifact deck, basically? This doesn't seem that good for us. We're not like a hyper-aggressive deck, or it's not looking like we'll be one. So I think I'll take this and set up for a potential Urza Saga package. Okay, we do wheel the Rakdos, the Raucous Theater. Yeah, let's take that over Sam. Uh, okay, this is interesting. We do have outs to be madness. I mean, we have three discard outlets currently. I think this was the Inti pack, so it's a little sad to see that not come around. But I mean, white is also open, but I mean Palace Jailer is really good. But I still think Rakdos looks pretty open. I guess this is a number with Dark Confidant, but I also just wanted to give it a go. We'll try this. Could not get there, of course, but let's try it out. Now we see Urborg. I don't think we cared that much about Everflowing Chalice. Well, actually, maybe we do. We do want to make sure we have enough creatures to crew the Copter. There is Lingering Souls as well. Which actually, you know what? I'm going to take the Lingering Souls. Even if we're not playing, like, we might just be Mardu. I mean, we get the late Shadowy Backstreet here. But even if we aren't playing white, if we have multiple ways to discard it, we could get some value out of the Lingering Souls. So, yeah, we're setting up to be Mardu. None of these cards look that good. Alright, so red does look pretty cut. We got the Fable, but that's kind of it. I do want to play the Fable, but I'm very sad that Inti did not come around. That would have been a really cool direction to go. So it's looking like we're like basically Mardu artifacts. We do need some more fixing to make this work, but I think this is a pretty promising start. Okay, what do we want here? This pack is pretty bad for us, unfortunately. I mean, it's just pretty weak in general. Nadu is definitely the best card, and we did see Lightning Greaves go around, so a little sad not to be able to make that happen. But I'm not going to take it here in my Mardu deck. Could take Robber of the Rich. Could take Phyrexian Revoker. I think I like taking the Revoker, actually. It's definitely not an exciting first pick. But if we have some artifact synergies and we want to have a high creature count, we want to be somewhat aggressive, Revoker does seem pretty nice. Yeah, we'll take this. Okay, good pack for us here. Sunbaked Canyon would be nice fixing, and I kind of hope it comes around, but I think we got to just take the Fire Covenant. This card is busted. We're also a little bit light on removal. I'm a little bit worried about paying life in my Dark Confidant, like, trying to madness this out deck, but still, Fire Covenant is just so busted. It, like, sweeps their board at instant speed, one-sided board sweeper. There's some matchup, like, if you're Grixis Control, this is maybe worse than Damnation because, I mean, it being instant speed is nice, but you don't care so much about it being one-sided. But in our deck, where we have a lot of our own creatures, being able to kill all their creatures without touching our own is just really, really strong. So I'll take that very happily. Now we see Blood Crypt and Scrubland. So I think we're more black-red than black-white. Hopefully we wheel the Scrubland too, but I think we should take the Blood Crypt first. There's also Mother of Runes and, like, Ocelot Pride, which are good white 1-drops, but right now we really don't have the mana to support that unless we cut black, which I don't really want to do. Yeah, I'll take the Blood Crypt. Okay, there's a Godless Shrine. There's also Chandra. I don't think Animate Dead is really where we want to be. Blood Tithe Harvester would be okay, but yeah, let's just take the Godless Shrine. Looking like we might actually get there for the 3-color mana base. And now we have, tough pick between Rabblemaster and Carnage Interpreter. I guess we didn't end up with that many artifact or discard synergies since we didn't get the Inti, just the currency converter. I think Rabblemaster is maybe a little bit better. It's also very good with Copter. You can, like, make a dude and then crew the Copter so you don't have to attack and lose your token. Yeah, I'm going to take this. Well, this does also kind of play with Shadow Range Archfiend, but not really. Yeah, I'm going to take the Rabblemaster. Close pick, though. Definitely would not fault you for taking the other. Oh, Croaks is back in the format. That's kind of fun. There's also Unholy Heat. But I think I like taking the Croaks here. Pretty good thing to loot away. Yeah, I'll try this out. I love this card. I think escape cards in general are fun, and I'm happy they're in the format again. Now I'll take Eagles of the North. Restless Vents is okay, but I think Eagles is a little bit better. It also fills the graveyard. Okay, now we can take a Silent Clearing. We are starting to have a fairly painful mana base and just deck in general. And as I say that, I'm going to take Night's Whisper. I do think this is the pick. Man, everything deals damage to us. Squee is interesting. Is Squee good here? Very good with Currency Converter. Very good with Copter. Very good with Fable. I think I will take it. Porcelain Legionnaire is... Well, I guess it is an artifact as well. We didn't get the Faithless Looting. Yeah, Legionnaire is probably better. I think I do want to be somewhat aggressive here. We're paying a lot of life, and so if we're going to be doing that, we want to be... Like, if you're dealing yourself 8 damage and trying to be a control deck, that's a real big problem. If you're dealing yourself 8 damage and beating down and pressuring your opponent's life total, it's a lot less bad. Okay, we will take Ocelot Pride here. I think over Kumano faces Kakazan. This card's not bad, actually, but I think this is definitely much higher upside. If we're able to cast it on turn 1 somewhat consistently, we'll see if we get to that point. Also, if we have more life gain, I would like some life gain in this deck to offset all the life loss. Right now, we don't have a ton, but we could get there. Although Zurin Orb is not the life gain I'm looking for. Bloodtithe Harvester is a great pickup. Very happy to see that. Whoa. Kind of pains me to see Jace going so late. I'm going to take him. Vampiric Tutor now, which we'll play if we get like Black Lotus. And then this is interesting. It could... Nah, I guess it can't really get there. We have a lot of stuff that breaks that restriction. Shadow Fiend, Palace Jailer, Legionnaire, Fable. Some of those are cuttable, but not all. Okay, interesting pick here. There's Shieldred, which is very good. It is life gain and just a broken card. It's that versus Wooded Foothills, but I think Shieldred is one of the relatively few cards that's so good I would take it over the Foothills here. Yeah, Shieldred is just a really, really strong card. Hope this comes around, but yeah, we'll take this. It is said that the Scrubland didn't wheel. Okay, not seeing much here. I guess we take the Snuff out and try to wheel Vindicate. Yeah, that actually is good. I said not much here, but Snuff out's a really good pickup. Ooh, Orcish Bowmasters. There's also Concealed Courtyard, but yeah, I'll take the Bowmaster. So now we have like all the good card draw punishers, or like the black ones with Shieldred Bowmasters. That's pretty sweet. I'm considering just going down to Rakdos. Then our mana is actually good. Yeah, I think this might be the way to build it. We have like somewhat of a white splash, but we don't have that much fixing, and this would make the deck a lot more consistent. There's Echo of Eons, which would be a funny pivot, but I don't think it's correct to do that. We could take Rakdos, the Talisman. We could take Harvester of Misery or Bitter Reunion. Pretty close pick. We are a little light on removal, which makes me want to take this more. Yeah, I'll take the Harvester. Now we see Baleful Mastery. I mean, both of these white cards are pretty good if we do want to go back to white, but I don't think that's really that feasible. I think we should just take the Baleful Mastery here and just be much more consistent. We just don't have the fixing, really. We have 3 white sources, I guess, and we do have the Eagles of the North. But that's not really enough for Palace Jailer, and the other white cards aren't that high of a priority. We can still play the Legionnaire if we want to. But yeah, let's take the Mastery. Baleful Mastery has additional utility in this deck where making them draw a card can occasionally be really good for us. Alright, I'll take a cut down. Good pickup. We need some more removal. Now, there's a Valky. That's pretty interesting. We can just cast this as a 7-drop sometimes. So this is almost definitely going to be a 17-lander. So we just run the deck like this is one possibility. I do think Karn's good. Honestly, there's nothing that I'm too thrilled with cutting except for maybe the Shadowgrange Archfiend. We'll see if we end up needing to make cuts. I mean, I hope we do because that means we got more good cards. I will take the Ajani here. Good card if we end up being able to play it. Now Caustic Bronco. Nice. Our curve is a little bit dicey for sure. Really hoping we draw Crow Mox a lot. I guess, I mean, our curve is fine. It's just the lack of 1-drops. So we have a ton of 2s. Alright, Vindicate for the board in case we end up with a white splash. And I guess we should play some of these white lands if we want to play the Lingering Souls. I think Lingering Souls does look good. And then we can play Eagles of the North, counting it just as a land, basically. Having some tapped lands in Eagles of the North is better in this deck than in some decks because of our lack of 1-drops. Like, you really don't want to have a Surveil land in your Rag Event hand, but we don't have Rag Event, unfortunately. So, seems fine. We do need to make a cut here. Night's Whisper could go to the board. I think we just want to be a little bit more proactive here. Like, I'd rather play Dark Confidant or Caustic Bronco than Night's Whisper. And I think 16 land seems okay. Are we playing this Shadow Fiend or Shadow Grange? What is it actually good with? Because it's like okay with some of these things, but it's not great if you have to spend like 2 mana on Currency Converter. If this is a 5 mana play, it's a lot worse. It's also awkward with Dark Confidant. So it's very good with Copter. Pretty good with the Bloodtithe Harvester. Very good with Fable. I think I'll move that to the board. Yeah, this with 17 land seemed okay. Or we could add one more card. Interesting. I don't think we really need Concealed Courtyard. Unless we do want to go back to trying to play Palace Jailer with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whites. But if we're playing a double white card, that's still going to be tough. I think I'm just going to take the Research Desk, which is a good pickup. Plays well with some of our discard stuff. Also makes our Karn constructs bigger. And it's just card draw. That fits the curve well. Whoa, better Reunion Wheel. There's also Walking Ballista. Actually, Ballista does look pretty good here. Yeah, I'm going to take this card. Bitter Reunion would be okay too, but doesn't seem super important. I guess I'll take this in case we end up playing white. Ooh, I'll play that. Last pick, Prismatic. Oh, okay, so we need to make some more cuts still. Honestly, everything looks pretty good here. I think I like the Croak. So I guess we don't really need Soul Guide Lantern in the main deck. It just doesn't do that much. In some matchups, it'll be very good sometimes. I think we want to play 16 lands with the Eagles, so we need one more cut. Could be Ballista. Although Ballista is just a pretty solid card, even if you don't have that many synergies for it. Valkyrie is not the best. I think I like the Currency Converter. I don't think I want to do a 41 card special. Could cut the Harvester, although this card has kind of impressed me. With that being said, we have a lot of small creatures. Maybe I will cut this actually, because it's not good with our creatures. Like, I don't want to cast this and kill my own stuff. And then just using this as a 2-mana removal spell is not that good either. It'll be like one of the best cards in our deck in some matchups, but I think we want to start with that on the board. So, I want us to play 3 planes. That's kind of funny. I'm going to play 0. I guess red is kind of a small splash. So this gives us 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 black sources, 4, 5, 6 red sources. So, I mean, I guess... Oh, yeah, and the Eagles can't even get red. Okay, so let's definitely go down 1, up 1. And we're like this. So we're playing Rakdos, mid-range. We're somewhat aggressive, but we're not all-in aggro. We have, like the tenet of an all-in aggro deck is you have a bunch of cards that are individually weak. That's not really true here. Pretty much all of our threats are very, very powerful. You know, Shieldred, Orcish Bowmasters, Goblin Rabblemaster. These are cards that demand an answer really quickly and can take over the game. So our plan is just to have like very high quality of threats and some removal to back it up and a solid curve and beat the opponent down. See you in round 1. Alright, we are on the draw for round 1, which is too bad, but our hand is excellent. Got some removal, we can punish card draw, we have some card draw of our own. Dark Confidant could be a little dicey with a Snuff Out. I also don't love drawing another land there, but pass back. If they pass with mana up, I'm probably going to just pass with mana up also and play the Bowmasters, but if they tap out, we can try to resolve the Bob. I guess best case scenario, they just play like Thalia or something, like some creature that dies to the Bowmasters. Okay, a lot of colors over there. White fetch land for a blue-red land, surveilling a swamp into the graveyard. Either Spellbomb, alright. Just gonna jam the Bob here. Drawing another land there is a bit tough. If they bounce the Bob end of turn, I'll take my value. Yeah, that's pretty good exchange for us. There's a chance they just play a draw 7 here, which I guess would be bad, but also not terrible. I mean, then the game would basically just be tied, and it depends on who draws better. But we would have a pretty full graveyard for Croaksa that we could draw towards. Oh, okay, well, that's bad. I just hit F6, but we definitely don't want to do that. They play like Otari or something, then Snuff Out will be a huge play. One of my least favorite things about this program, and there's a lot of bad things. Okay, all right. Understand Walking Bliss. All right, let's untap. Draw. Good draw. I'm going to snuff this out. Actually, yeah, I'm going to snuff this out. Taking 7, which is a lot. Then I'll play the Fable, and I might end up just discarding the Bob, actually. So it's a 2-for-1, but we take 7 damage. Honestly, not the worst trade. I doubt that their deck is that aggressive. Kind of weird delay unless they have Force of Will. Because there's nothing for them paying other than our face. Alright, let's play the Fable now, I think. And pass turn. No days is excellent to see. So now we're pretty ahead, honestly. I mean, it's Vintage Cube. Anything can happen. But we have more cards in hand. They have no board presence. Alright, I'm just going to loot away 2 lands here. Swing for 2. Then I'll play land, Dark Confidant, pass. It is a little risky to play this. We could take it out with Baleful Mastery or our own Bowmasters if we need to. I think it's worth it to play, though. We have some real pressure here. They're at 14. We hit them for quite a bit of damage. Okay. Flip Lingering Soul, sure. So let's go to combat, swing. I think I'll cast the Lingering Souls but not flash it back. Hold up Baleful Mastery. Just so we have some way to rebuild if they have a board sweeper. It would be pretty bad, actually. If they swept our board, we don't have that much value left. I mean, it would still be like basically a top deck battle where we have Lingering Souls. But they don't have it, so we take it down. Playing against some sort of 5-color artifact deck. Don't know exactly what we should be sideboarding for. Do we want to make any changes here? This could be a matchup where we cut Fire Covenant potentially, or even cut down. We just don't know that much of their deck, though. I'm a little hesitant to go too low on removal. Yeah, I'm just going to run it back. Ballista's kind of annoying, like surprisingly annoying against our deck. We have a lot of 1-toughness creatures. The old 6-lander. Don't think this is what we want to keep. Yeah, let's go to 6. Alright, I'll keep this. Put back. Basic Swamp. This is not a good Croaksa hand. We're not filling the graveyard very quickly. So hopefully we can find something like a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay. We can make them really sad to have card draw. That's a good one, actually. That's really good. We can use that to get some Croaksa value going, and it just fits our curve well, too. That's our 3-drop. Okay. Hopefully they just crack this immediately. So yeah, I think I would rather just loot the Croaksa away to the currency converter than casting it. There's a pretty good chance they have at least one bad card in their hand. we'll pass with cut down and currency converter up. So it doesn't really make sense for them to bounce our Bowmasters here because we can recast it. They could cycle the Spell Bomb, but that also seems pretty bad because we get another Orcish Bowmasters trigger, so they just untap. Which is good for us. They're just wasting 2 mana there. Opponent has not done much, honestly, all match. They had their Black Lotus into a 3/3 Ballista, which is not that exciting. Let's loot. Yeah, my new place does not have as good an internet as I was hoping. There is a bit of lag, and I'm sorry about that. Alright, so looting, discarding Kroxa. Bloodtithe Harvester's not a bad draw either. In fact, I think it's probably better to play the Harvester than to just jam the Sheoldred here. We can play Harvester and then loot again with Currency Converter and just try to fill the graveyard for the Kroxa. Opponent's life total is still high, and they do have 5 cards in hand. I used to think Sheoldred was terrible because I only played Blue-Eye Control, and it is pretty terrible against Blue-Eye Control, where it's like super soft to Solitude, super soft to Swords Plowshares, super soft to Fairy Bounce, to Board Sweepers, and also just like Counter Magic. It's like a 4-mana sorcery speed threat that you can like let stay in play for a couple turns usually and still be fine. I mean, if you can't let them play Sheoldred, then untap and then play a draw 7, but that's just like never ever happening when you're playing Control. So I thought this card was pretty overrated, but it closed out games really quickly. It's really good in combo decks. It's good if you can back it up with discard spells, so I do kind of get it now. Or actually, I fully get it now, and I'd take this over most cards in the format. Mana Drain. Okay, well, I'm happy I didn't play the Sheoldred. We'll just pass. It's a little bit, I mean, yeah, this is carry turn. They have up to 7 mana. We'll see what they're able to do with it. The other reason I like Sheoldred a lot more now is that I've come to realize that the draw 7 deck is actually good. For a long time, I thought it was super overrated because there just wasn't that many Punishers. Like, you had Narset and, like, maybe Leovold. But now that they've added Bowmasters, Hull Breacher, other good uses of that sort of thing, it's just, like, a lot. Like, the archetype building around Sheoldred and draw 7s is way better than it's been historically. So, they did not tap their last 2 mana. That's a little surprising. We'll see how they want to play this. They just kill the Bowmasters immediately, sure. Also sure. So I'm going to loot again and then start making construct. I mean, we could make a 2/2 with Currency Converter now, but I think I want to keep the cards flowing. We can loot this turn, then play Sheoldred, and use this to make a dude next turn. They go top, bottom, alright. We will loot. Okay, I'll discard Godless Shrine. Our graveyard's going to start getting full. We're not too far away from escaping Kroxa. That's an interesting draw, although not a very good one. Let's go to combat, swing for 1. I'll be very happy if they trade. And then we'll cast the Sheoldred. Good chance they just bounce at end of turn, but that's a pretty good exchange for us. I'll take the 2 for 1. Or I guess more like the 1 for 0. I wish I was playing Wheel of Fortune in this deck with the Bowmasters and the Sheoldred. That actually sounds like a really good deck. Black-red, Wheel of Fortune. With those two, a bunch of good threats and good removal. So we can escape Kroxa next turn if we use the Snuff Out. I'm not just going to fire off the Snuff Out for no value, but it seems solid. Looks like they are cracking a shield, or the Spell Bomb to bounce Sheoldred. which is an okay tempo play, but it's card disadvantage, and they spent 2 mana to our 4 mana. It's not that big of a tempo swing. Now I'm thinking of the good old days when Vapor Snag was a good card. Doomsday. Huh. Okay. Fair enough. I did not realize that's what we were playing against. So, how bad is this for us? Pretty bad. The short answer is we probably lose. They're going to go to 7. Then we're going to put a Kroxa 2/2 into play. We can snuff out their Walking Ballista. I guess then they just kill our Orc. Attack them down to 5. We can kill them in 2 turns for sure, but they should be able to kill us this turn. Alright. So they decided what they want. Pass turn. Guess I'm going to use Cut Down to kill this Ballista. Oh! Fairly big misplay there. I mean, I think we're going to lose either way, but we definitely should have made the Kroxa end of turn. Playing a little fast. So go to combat, hit for 1. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're going to kill us this turn either way. They do go for the block. Going to play out both my things. I don't think escaping Kroxa helps us this turn. I guess we couldn't even either way. They're dead next turn if they don't kill us right now, but so they draw, go down to 5. They can't afford to take 2 more damage. Okay, to Fairy Bounce Shieldred. And then if they have untapped blue source into Thassa's Oracle, we do die. If we had Snuff Out up, we wouldn't die, but we don't. I don't think they take 2 damage from this. Yeah. Okay. Do they have untapped blue source? Oh, okay. Okay, so they got us. Playing against Doomsday. Good to know that that's what they're up to. I'm going to cut some of the removal for sure. Soul Guard Lantern could be relevant interaction. These two both seem okay. I definitely don't want Fire Covenant. Don't think we need Ballista either. Snuff Out's okay, but still not great. Honestly, all the removal seems not amazing. Let's bring in these two, and then I think we just want to play 17th Land. Vindicate's kind of interesting, too. It can really get them by killing a land sometimes. Baleful Mastery is okay. It hits to Fairy, which they do have. It might hit Jace. Doesn't seem that good. Although, actually, making them draw a card at instant speed could be pretty solid. Yeah, I think I will play it. We cut a bunch of black cards. We brought in, I guess, other black cards and colorless cards. I don't know. I'll add one more swamp because we are much more heavy. And actually, I'll add a mountain. Or do we want to actually play the Vindicate? 1, 2, 3, 4 sources. Are there any other cards? Oh, Vampire Tutor doesn't seem that good. So I'm going to add a Plains here as a 17th land and run it like this. Get to be on the play for game 3. I don't think any of these other white cards look that good. But Vindicate, again, Vindicate just like blowing up a land can be huge against Doomsday. As someone who's played a lot of Doomsday, like sometimes you're really banking on having all your lands, and you like construct this careful plan for how you're going to win, and then they just kill your third blue source and you can't play your Jace or whatever. Oh. Well, unfortunately, Magic Online crashed, and so we could not get our sideboard plan, so still playing a lot of removal spells that won't be too good. It should be an okay matchup anyways. We just want to pressure our opponent, but it is slightly annoying. Alright, I'll keep this hand on the play. Ballista is not a card that I want to have in my deck, but Seems okay. Also, Dark Confidant is really good against a combo deck like this where they're not really pressuring our life total. Pretty much just free value. I think I'm just going to play tap Godless Shrine on turn 1. I know I just said that my life total isn't super relevant, but it's also not super relevant to get Mishra's Research Desk into play on turn 1. Not going to be cracking it for a while, presumably. Alright. Godless Shrine, go. It could be an absolute savage and fire off the turn 1 Doomsday with Black Lotus, but looks like they will not be taking that line. Okay, honestly, perfect draw. It is unfortunate that we don't have any discard spells in this build. That would go a long way in the combo matchup. So we'll have to rely on the old-fashioned strategy, which is just kill them quickly before they can do their thing. Bowmasters and Shieldred should also be pretty good against their deck. Bottom. Definitely happy to see that. Ooh, not happy to see that. This could mean... Oh, they just played the Doomsday on turn 2. Wow. Well, not a whole lot we can do about that. They bring back the Black Lotus and the Preordain, sure. Yeah, this is gonna be tough. Turn 2 Doomsday. I don't think it's likely they can kill us on turn 3, although maybe it is. What are we hoping to find? I mean, this is this exact situation I'm talking about where Vindicate would shine. So, like, if this Ballista was a Vindicate, which is a sideboard change I tried to make, then we would probably win this game. We don't have discard spells. Bowmasters could get there, but probably not. Yeah, I think we're probably just dead here. We'll see, though. Alright, they decided on their Doomsday. They do play a second land. Either Spellbomb, okay. And then, yeah, we just play the Fable and hope for the... Oh, Mana Crypt, whoa. So they can draw the Lotus. Okay, they don't have the Lotus. There's Shieldred, but we're 1 mana short, unfortunately. So we hit for 2, put them to 10. Is there any world where Ballista helps us here? They go to 8. If they lose the flip, they're at 5. I don't think so. I think I'm still just going to play the Fable. And then if they like somehow don't kill us this turn, we can win, but they almost definitely will. They also won the flip. Two cards left. We don't have Snuff Out up, so if they just cast Lotus Oracle, we do die. Also, if they cast Lotus Jace, we die. They pass, though. That is weird. They don't even have double blue, so they don't have mana drain mana up. Very strange. So we can hit them for 4, put them to 4, play Shieldred, and they're dead if they can't kill the Shieldred and they lose the Mana Crypt flip. Seems like that's probably the play. Playing Ballista does basically the same thing. I guess Ballista's better against them having a removal spell. Okay, let's discard land, souls. Don't find anything relevant. Okay, go to combat. Okay, so what's the better play here? I don't think they likely have a removal spell. I guess we could just play Ballista for 1 is probably the move. Which plays around them having mana leak. Either way, we're dead if they win the flip. Is there ever a world where Shieldred wins, though, where Ballista wouldn't? Like, say they lose the flip, but they have to, like, take 2. The problem is, like, if they play, like, Thassa's Oracle, or if they were to play Jace, they would draw the card and win with the Shieldred trigger on the stack. So I don't think that matters. I think Ballista is the best play, actually. If we had 1 more mana, then we could do both. So cast a 1/1 Ballista, and I guess at this point it is worth it to play this, but it doesn't really change anything unless there's something I'm not thinking of. Cut down actually could, like, weirdly help us. So, okay, they lose the flip. So Ballista is lethal. I'm going to let them take their draw step, which is maybe risky, but I think it is correct. Like, I don't want to let them do anything weird in response. Okay, Teferi. Sure. Response hit you for 1. Okay. Nice, I'll take it. 1-0. See you in round 2. Alright, we are on the draw here for round 2. I'll keep this hand. Not the most exciting, but got a cheap removal spell, got a couple of disruptive threats. Definitely a keep. Opponent's on 6, but they do keep their 6. Once upon a time, sure. If they play land mana dork, I probably will snuff it out. We're kind of light on removal, especially for a black-red deck, so there's an argument to saving this for something big, but it's just so risky to let your opponent untap with a mana dork. Oh. Oh. Alright, that's exactly what we wanted to see. I'm just going to snuff this out now, honestly. No point in risking them top decking Spell Pierce or something. So they can play Territorial Kavu, which will be a 2/2 for now. It will likely grow. Let's play Revoker to shut down their Mox Diamond. And then the question is, do we accept the trade if they offer it? I don't like giving them their Mox Diamond back, but I also do think this Territorial Kavu could become a pretty big problem, so I think I will accept it. And then we can just win from there pretty easily. I mean, they spewed a lot of value already. We're also at 12, so I just don't want to be taking tons of damage. Bowmasters is interesting. I think I'm just going to play the Copter, though. It's kind of close. Okay, so let's play the Harvester. Crew, and I'm probably going to be discarding the Valky. Valky doesn't seem too important here. Maybe Legionnaire's worse, actually. Loot. Guess I'll just discard Swamp for now, actually. Given that we drew land. I'm going to pass the Bowmasters up. I'm just going to keep developing threats. Actually, yeah, let's just cast Valky now. See what they have. I don't think it's that likely they have a creature, but they could. And this lets us just keep hitting hard. Bolt, Force of Will. So now the question is, do we want to expose the Copter to the Bolt? I think the answer is yes. Like, it's not great, but it does push more damage. We get to hit for 5 this turn. Then I'm just going to play this Legionnaire. Just play everything out. Try to pressure them. Maybe they have Fiery Confluence, and that would be pretty bad, but we haven't seen it yet. Let's just try to give them as few draw steps as possible. This puts them to 11, and then we have 10 damage on board, so unfortunately it's not quite lethal, but they do concede. So, playing against some sort of weird red-green Force of Will deck. They do have some beefy creatures. This is also the second opponent that's had Black Lotus. I don't think we really need to make any changes here. This is a matchup where I do want the removal. Could do the same Vindicate plan. I think I'm just going to run it back on the draw. Probably bring in a 17th land on the play. Alright, I'll keep this hand on the draw. No turn 1 play once again, but we have a good curve after that. We'll see what they have. We don't have the Snuff Out this time, so if they have a really explosive draw, it will be a little tougher to catch up. Turn 1 Kavu, okay. Don't think I'm interested in Valky right now. I want to find some removal. So the question is, how big can they get this Kavu? It would be awesome if we could just trade it with Bloodtithe Harvester, but there's into the Triumph, so now it's already a 4-4. Shieldred still blocks it, but that's it. I think we're going to drop the Copter here on turn 2 since we don't have a block either way. We can beat this Kavu. I mean, it's scary. They hit us for 4 on turn 2. Yeah, I think Dark Confront is too much of a liability here. We can beat the Kavu, but we can't win if they have a lot of follow-up as well. Alright. Swinging for a bunch here. And they play Minsk and Boo. Alright. I mean, yeah, we are... I think there's no odds from this position. They hit us for 9 on turn 3, and we lose. So that was a pretty good draw. Their deck is definitely capable of good draws, even if they did not have one on game 1. What changes do we want to make here? Dark Confidant could be a little bit dicey. They do seem fairly aggressive. Do think I like the Vindicate plan. Maybe not, though. Maybe we just play... Yeah, I'll just do this. Like, the card Minsk and Boo is pretty tough for us to deal with, but we're on the play. We can just try to have, like, be ahead on board by the time they cast it. I know they've had Black Lotus and Mox Diamond a lot in this match, but... We're on the play. Like, in theory, they should not be able to cast, like, be that far ahead on mana consistently. Okay, great hand. Probably playing the Bloodtithe Harvester on turn 2. It hits harder, and it also lets us get a blood token so we can loot and dig for lands if we don't find them naturally. The problem is I like all the cards in my hand. Except the Evolved Sleeper, but I still think it's worth it to play it on turn 1 just for mana efficiency and having the threat against a deck that's trying to play to the board quickly. Jeez. A few different lines here. I think I'll just attack. Honestly, I'll accept this trade if they want to block. It does make our mana a little bit worse, but it's fine. And I'll play land, play Harvester, pass turn. I would prefer not to use my Snuff Out on this. If they attack and discard, I'm pretty happy to try the trade. If they do kill this, I'll consider Snuff Out. No land. Okay, that's great for us, of course. That's a good draw too. Play land. I think I'm just going to go to combat and swing. Okay. I'm just going to go for Lingering Souls, actually, and then I'm going to Snuff Out this Inti now. It might look a little bit weird, but I don't want to let them attack and dig towards lands. Sure. I'm not going to Snuff Out now. If they like want to counter this, that's not the end of the world. And I want to keep this in case they have Black Lotus. Like if they go Black Lotus into a 5-drop, then I would much rather have Snuff Out for that. We could also just not Snuff Out the Inti. Let them get one attack with it. Then it gets stonewalled pretty hard by the Shieldred. But digging one card closer to a land is pretty bad. I think I'm just going to try to stunt their development as much as possible. Okay, that does almost nothing. We could level this up, but I think it's got to be corrected. Just get the Shieldred down. This pressures them really quickly. We hit them down to 11. They draw down to 9. There's just not much they can do from this position. Phantasmal Image copy Shieldred. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Just gonna Orcish Bowmaster that in my upkeep. Oh, whoops. Well, that's fine. So we could have prevented this, but the 2 damage. But 2 damage doesn't even matter. And then on board we put them to 1. Oh no, and then we can just level this up. Alright, so pretty smooth sailing. We are 2-0. Unless the opponent has something very unexpected. I guess they could have a Bolt and survive, but that's still wouldn't really. I guess if they have a Bolt, I'll regret not having Shocked in this Godless Shrine, because then we could level up Evolve Sleeper to be 3 power, put them to 2. They die to the Shieldred trigger, but there's no losing lines here. You can beat Manuscript Hands when you curve out as perfectly as possible, including a free Snuff Out. That is true. I mean, it's not very hard to curve out when your deck. I guess actually having a 1-drop is kind of lucky. But from that, like, our deck is like all 2 and 3. Like, we're never gonna not be able to curve out after the first turn. I mean, I guess the true curve out is the Chrome Mox on turn 1. But that is the virtue of having a low curve. You're able to just like use your mana every turn and be aggressive. That's why most of the decks in Vintage Cube in general have become lower curve, more proactive decks, so that you are able to maximize the games where you curve out. 2-0. See you in the finals. Alright. We are 0 for 3 on die rolls, unfortunately, but we're 3 for 3 on opening hands that we can keep in game 1. So, I will keep it. Definitely need to find a red source, but we can dig pretty deep with Mishra's Research Desk, and then we have a pretty good hand for Croaking. Ooh. Okay, I'm still going to play the Research Desk on turn 1 and pass. Might end up pitching the Croaxa to play Fable on turn 2. I don't really want to pitch the Croaxa, especially if they're playing a control deck. Although at the same time, Croaxa is a little bit weak to white removal. We'll see what they get here. Catch Retrim. Okay, against that, Croaxa does seem solid. We'll see what we draw. Paradise Druid. Okay, cannot kill that. Let's just untap. Okay, I'm just gonna play that. Like, if I had no play, I wouldn't just accept that. I would go for the Chrome Mox Fable play, but I do want to keep the Croaxa around. This is a nice card to get into play. Think that I'll do this and potentially just end up looting away the Croaxa to the Fable. Okay, Birds of Paradise, probably worth killing that. Let's untap. Go to combat. This is Saddle 3, so we could play Croaxa. That does not seem worth it, though. Let's just go to combat and swing. We're taking some damage here, and then we're taking more damage from the Blood Crypt, but from what we've seen so far, it doesn't look like their deck is too aggressive. So if they block, I might just go aggressively after their resources. They do go for the block. Interesting. So I'm going to cut down the bird for sure. The question is, do we want to play... Oh, what is this? Oh, sure. Could cut the Paradise Druid down to save our Caustic Bronco here. I think I'm just going to let this happen, though, and just try to deny their mana. And then we can... Oh, so this Timeless Dragon will be a little bit of a problem, actually. You know what? No, I'm going to get the Fable into play. I think I need to prioritize this because I want to be able to escape the Kroxa quickly, and that's like a plan against the Timeless Dragon. Sucks that Cut Down doesn't deal with it. There's a chance we could stop, like, if they don't have an untapped land, we could stop them from playing the Timeless Dragon for one turn with the Birds of Paradise, by killing the Birds of Paradise, but I think I'm just going to let this happen, just discard away the Kroxa and the Chromox, and try to get the Kroxa into play on turn 5. Asika's Chariot, interesting. I think I'm happy to see that. Ooh, definitely happy to see it now. I did want to find land, though. So let's start with a cut down on one of these tokens. Okay, I wasn't really expecting that to happen. I'll swing. Do they want to trade? They do. Now I'm going to get a little greedy and crack this Mishra's Research Desk because I really do want to find a land here. Okay, so yeah, I'll just grab Swamp, play Swamp, and then main phase, kill their bird. And now, Asika's Chariot is pretty good with the Timeless Dragon. They can eternalize this, and then this could, theoretically, then this can crew the Asika's Chariot, which could then copy the Timeless Dragon again. But we can just snuff out... Oh, they don't go for that. Weird. Huh. What could they be holding on? Maybe Solitude. Okay, I'm just going to start by going to combat. Okay, this is very strange. We have a few options. I think I like just casting Valkyrie here to start. We could save it to try and make a 7 mana, though. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So, play Copter. Play Harvester, pass. So if we find land, we can cast Tybalt. We're also ready to escape Kroxa. We have a second red source from the treasure token, so we can escape Kroxa if we get one more card in the yard. Although, of course, I don't love the idea of losing our Mishra's Research Desk. Reprieve. Okay. I think I'm going to pass now rather than sacking or cracking the Blood Tithe Harvester. Although with that being said, we could just cast Valkyrie now to take a look at their hand. Then we don't have another red source. We also do just have more board presence. I think I'm going to do it. It's close. Yeah, I'm going to cast this. They have a lot of creatures. I think this is pretty likely to hit something relevant. Ooh. Okay, that's pretty bad. Oh, and Parallax Wave too? Okay, we're like very behind actually. Yeah, that was like that was kind of worst case scenario. Instant speed, Flicker, Seeker's Chariot, plus have Parallax Wave, which we can't take. Our life steal is also pretty low. And then if we go for Snuff Out, they can Flicker their Seeker's Chariot. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Okay. I think I am going to snuff this out now. It's not great because they can just save it, but I think that letting them attack here is too bad. Yep. This Seeker's Chariot's going to go very wide, though. Alright, Parallax Wave down to 1. We're going to get Fable to come in on the front half. Yep. Ooh. Pretty good draw. I guess not the best because we can only play it for 2. I think it's still correct, though. So our life field is pretty precarious, but we don't need to take any damage. Well, we'll take a little bit, I guess. We can go Crew Copter. And the problem is they're just going to get back a Seeker's Chariot and make more dudes. Let's see how they attack first. I think I'm okay with accepting this trade, though. Taking 1. Honestly, I want the mountain more, I think, because it lets us escape Kroxa, which will be the biggest creature on the battlefield. I would feel good if it wasn't for this Timeless Dragon in exile. So we need to hope to find Lingering Souls. Oh, well, ask you shall receive, I guess. Do we want to play and flashback that immediately, or do we want to get Kroxa into play first? I think I'm okay with taking 1 hit from the Timeless Dragon. So I'm going to get the Kroxa into play, which just, like, does the most immediately. I guess this is bad if they top deck, like, a counterspell, maybe, but I think this is still correct. I'm also going to attack for 2. I'm okay if they block and we get to just trade off these resources, that's fine. We're going to get a bunch of chump blockers back on our turn. If they just trade with the cat token, I'm also okay with that. Then we'll get a new orc army when this orc comes back. Yeah, I'm okay with this exchange. So we're going to take a hit for 5 here. Our opponent's getting low, though. We're going to ping them down to 10. We have this Ballista, so they're at a virtual 8. The Kroxa trigger puts them to 5. I mean, it's unclear who's the aggressor here, which is always some of the most interesting games when the roles are not clearly defined. When it's just like one player is control and one player is aggro. Everyone sort of knows what's going on. It's like a little bit less dynamic. this goes away. They get back their Seeker's Chariot. We get back more stuff than just the Seeker's Chariot. Finger Face for 1. Valky Trigger doesn't do anything. So the board is pretty clogged up with all these cats. And they can crew the Chariot, of course, to try to copy Timeless Dragon. That's actually pretty relevant here. Hitting us for an extra 1 damage. Maybe we're supposed to kill the Hierarch with the Ballista. I don't think so, though. I mean, our plan is just to block this for the foreseeable future. Okay, gonna discard Currency Converter. I'm not gonna discard the other, though. Eagles of the North not looking great here. Actually, wait. Hold on. Is Eagles of the North good here? That it's like funnily close because it does put a lot more pressure on the board. I think we just save that for next turn, though. So then for this turn, what do we attack with? Is it just Croxo? So really we have 2 options, attack with everything or attack with just Croxo. If we attack with everything, they crew the Chariot, they block the Bowmasters, and they need to block the Croxo. Very interesting spot. I think we actually do want to attack with everything. And then we have 4 chump blockers back. I guess we don't attack with the 1/1s, and then we have 6 blockers back. So the question is really just, do we send in Ballista, Valky, and Goblin Shaman? Also, Goblin Shaman just getting in is relevant too. So yeah, let's do that. If they just want to trade the board down, I think that's also okay with us. Let me just quickly think. If we just play Eagles of the North, it does add a lot of power. They could no longer crew the Copter, or crew the Chariot, because then they would only have 2 blockers. They block Croxa and Goblin Shaman. They take 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, they actually would die, so they could not crew the Chariot. But the problem is then if they have a removal spell for the Eagles of the North, we just lose, and I don't think that's a risk we want to take. So I think we just play it slow and attack with only Croxa this turn. No, let's put the pressure on. Yeah, I'm gonna attack with all of the creatures other than the 1 toughness ones. And if they trade with some of the wolves, that's okay. Of course, I want to attack before playing the Lingering Souls because it's very relevant information. Okay. I'm fine with this. So I'm just going to let that all go through and then play my Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls is just absolutely phenomenal here. So we're 4. There's definitely stuff that kills us. Parallax Wave is gone, luckily. That would have killed us. If they have a way to tap all our creatures, the Cryptic Command, we lose. But I'm feeling pretty good here. We're good against spot removal. We're dead to, like, Burst Lightning, but I would be pretty surprised to see that. We're okay against Elspeth or something like that. Okay. They do get to make another dragon. We'll chump block with the Orc. The old Eagles of the North Lingering Souls combo. Who knew it was so busted? Okay, they put Croaks away, but this should be fine. Yeah, this is actually sick. I've never seen Eagles of the North be good in Vintage Cube, but it is pretty nice here. Wow. All right, Lingering Souls and Eagles of the North actually getting the job done. Up a game here in the finals against Mr. Dinner 999. I like your avatar, Mr. Dinner. Okay, so playing against like Selesnya Beatdown seems like they have this domain thing, but it looks like they're pretty much Selesnya. Pretty aggressive. I wish I had more removal. Do I want to play Vindicate? Although Vindicate doesn't even line up that well against most of the removal we've seen. Could play Soul Guide Lantern. It's good against the Dragon. Is there anything we don't like? Hard to say how good Dark Confidant is. I mean, that game they were kind of aggressive, but we also did pay a lot of life. I do like the Lingering Souls. So I'm not going to cut the White Splash. Like maybe Rabble Master, at least on the draw, is just not that good. Yeah, they just have so many creatures that block it well. I think I'll run it like this on the draw. And then on the play, I'll probably bring in the other land. We'll see what we want to cut. Yeah, in general, Rebel Master is like it's pretty good against decks. Well, it's very, very good against combo decks, and it's good when you can power it out early. But it's not good when you're behind on board, because the 1/1, I mean, you just can't really attack. It just doesn't do that much, and their deck has a lot of beefy creatures, and they're on the play, and we don't have much fast mana in our deck, so I think it's better to just have him sit out. Maybe on the play for game 3 we can bring him in. It's also better if you have more removal to clear the path, but we don't have that much. It's not like we have none, but we have what? Baleful Mastery, Snuff Out, Fire Covenant, Cut Down, like kind of Ballista, kind of Orcish Foemasters. We have some, but still. I don't think this is the best matchup for old Rabble. Alright. Very good hand on the draw. We do have a removal spell. It's not one that I'm thrilled with playing on turn 1, but still, got a good curve. Hopefully we can find some lands. We can saddle the Bronco on turn 3 here. Saddle our Snake Horse Mount. Nice creature types. Yeah, I think it is better to play the Bronco here over Dark Confidant. I guess the exception is if they play a big creature. Which does actually seem pretty likely. Yeah, okay, I'll play the Dark Confidant, which means all we have to do is untap to get the card for this. With Bronco, you also have to be able to attack. I don't want to have to use Baleful Mastery to clear the path and then attack. Okay, we get at least one card out of this. Fire Covenant's a good one. I'm going to start by just going to combat and swinging. And then we can decide if we want to cut this down. But like if they have Wandering Emperor or something, I definitely want to be able to respond. So we'll see what they want to do here. If they make a dude to block, I might just Fire Covenant sweep their things. It's not that good of an exchange, though. Okay, they go for that. That's fine. I'll just let this happen, then play Bronco and cut down their Noble Hierarch. Definitely an argument to waiting and just trying to pick that up off with the Fire Covenant, but I do think denying their mana is good. We don't have that much removal in our deck, but we do have a lot in our hand if we can just try to close it out before the game goes too long. They plus for no value. Big moment here. Hopefully they don't have any, like, if they either just have nothing or they play a creature that we can kill, we're in good shape. We can attack, draw another card off the Bronco, kill their Wandering Emperor. But if they, like, play a board sweeper here, we'll be in, I guess we then just Baleful Mastery their thing, which isn't great. Hopefully this is, like, just Council's Judgment. Okay, touch the Spirit Realm, yep. Take out Caustic Bronco, but then we can level up the Evolved Sleeper to kill their Wandering Emperor. Interesting draw. Alright, so I'm going to play the Valky. See what they have, and then we'll decide if we want to shock this in or not. Oh, damn it. Well, we lose. We can't beat Fourth Aerlingus into Parallax Wave here. Actually, maybe we can. I mean, Fire Covenant can deal with a Fourth Aerlingus. We're going to take a big hit. We want to make sure that we hold up. Like, do they go for the Parallax Wave first, or do they just play Fourth Aerlingus for 5? Okay, so this seems fine, because or for 3. We take 6, and then we pay 6 life. I'm just going to take this. I think I'm okay with going to 5 here. But then we get to become the Monarch. Let's just do this, make sure that it resolves. Go to combat. No point in leaving something back because they can just clear the path with the Parallax Wave. Play this and pass. Now we're at 5, but we're the Monarch. They can play Parallax Wave, which stalls for a few turns. It really just depends on what threats they have. If they just play Parallax Wave and pass, we're going to win. It's a little early to say that, but we'll be in a good spot. Okay, I'm going to play Phyrexian Revoker, naming Parallax Wave, see what they do. Or do we just want to hold up Baleful? Maybe we need to hold up Baleful Mastery, actually. I don't want to let them draw a card. Interesting spot. If we had one more mana, it would be a lot easier. So we play the Revoker. They use the Parallax Wave twice in response. I really think it's bad to let them draw a card, though. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna go. This is just too much of a threat with Parallax Wave in play. I don't love using my last removal spell here, but I think it is necessary. They can use their Parallax Wave in response to save it, but it's a lot less scary when they don't. The problem is it's a lethal, if they can find a black source at least, it's a lethal trampling attacker. So we can just never beat it with blocks. And then I don't think it really matters to put Currency Converter into play, so I'm just going to plan on cracking the Mishra's Research Desk. So now it's kind of interesting. They could remove all 3 counters to just get their Neshoba Brawler back ASAP. That doesn't seem that good. Get to draw a card. Shielder, that's a huge draw. Especially if we can find a land off of this Mishra's Research Desk, so we can also shut down their Parallax Wave. Oh no, right before we got our Shielder into play. Okay, that's definitely bad. I think we were in a very good position, and now it's close. We might still be ahead, though. Their deck is really good. I mean, just based on power level, at least. Which I guess is the way you assess whether decks are good. Okay, Swamp. So we're going to play the Revoker first, see what they do. I guess I'll actually attack for 2 first. Play Revoker naming Parallax Wave. Then cast Shieldred. Really hope it resolves, of course. And if it does, we're in really good shape because we get to gain 2, which is very relevant here at 5 life. We get to gain 2 from the Monarch draw. They take 2 down to 10. Looks like a Solitude. That's pretty bad. So the real key is, do they have another removal spell? Because if they kill the Revoker and become the Monarch, then I really don't like our chances. But if we're able to trade this Revoker for Solitude. So maybe we were supposed to leave back Valky? No, I don't think so. Especially, like, we want to close out this game. Yeah, I think the attack was correct. Given what happened, I would prefer to leave back the Valky, but that's pretty much the only card in the format that would make this the case. Because it, like, removes one of our 2 blockers, it puts into play an attacker, and it puts into play a lifelinker, which makes it a lot harder for us to try to race. Like, 2 damage matters a lot less when they're about to gain 3. This is a key turn. Not that our hand is actually that good, but like, if we get off this trade, we have good value for the long game. They do offer the trade. I'm kind of surprised by that, although I guess they maybe just want to be able to get Parallax Wave going again. Not that it can do too much, but it lets them get their Neshoba Brawler into play a turn earlier. 5 mana to Fairy. Do they want to plus or tuck? They plus. Into Giver of Runes, okay. Okay, bad shape. We're behind. Crooks is an interesting one. Let's play it to knock the last card out of their hand. Okay, I think it's better to... Well, we have a few... Maybe it's just best to currency converter here. Yeah, that actually seems fine. Good draw. Very good draw. Do we want to attack anywhere? No, I want to defend the Monarchy here for sure. So we'll draw the Orc. This goes down to 1, so they no longer have the ability to remove anything. They plus. Okay, so let's just take out this Giver of Runes here. So now we have a good board presence. They did just draw 2, but we can also escape Croakja, so we were doing okay on the value game too. Yeah, I think we're actually okay. The swing game seemed like we were way ahead, way behind, way ahead, way behind. I think we're back to being mildly ahead. They cast a Timeless Dragon, which is pretty scary. Definitely pretty scary. We need to find Lingering Souls. Ooh, Ballista. We can play a 4/4 Ballista. Interesting, interesting. They're at 11. So if we send everything at them, they block with the Timeless Dragon on the Orc. Go to 7. And then honestly, we just escape Croakja this turn. They don't have life gain, really. We could also just not even attack with anything this turn. Like, is it worth sacrificing the Orc for 4 damage? I guess it is. And if they block one of these things, it's also worth sacking one of these for 3 damage. So, okay, I will actually attack them with everything, but I'm not doing this with the goal of then killing their Timeless Dragon. I'm doing this just to push damage and try to race. We can afford to take 1 hit from the dragon. Okay, they do decide to do that, which takes more damage this turn. Okay, and I'm going to play this tap because with Ballista in play it does matter. We get to draw another card off the Monarch, so we still get some card selection. Draw a card. Pass turn. Fable. I mean, good draw, of course. Doesn't really do much here. They're going to get back their dude. We get back ours. Neither of those are relevant. They can put us to 4. I'll note, so in my other 2 drafts that I've done this season, or that I've recorded, I got Black Lotus in both. I got Black Lotus, Soul Ring in one, and I got 3 Moxen in the other. So both, there's some people that are, a wide variety of comments, but there's some people that are like, oh yeah, obviously you can win that way. I'll note, this league, we have no power whatsoever. Don't even have, no power. We also played against 2 Black Lotus decks and an Ancestral Recall deck. And here we are, potentially on the cusp of the trophy. Let's just take this down to 4, which is low, especially against a deck with red mana. But I think they're just splashing for 4th Aerolingus. I don't think they're playing direct damage. Could have a board sweeper, but we have this Ballista. They could tuck our Kroxa. Tight game, but I'm feeling pretty good. Oh man. What you got, Mr. Dinner 999? A concession? They do tuck the Kroxa, yep. They don't know about the Ballista, of course. I mean, okay. Now we know that we have lethal. Oh, we know they do have another draw, so okay. I wouldn't even loot if they didn't have this. Let's discard the Shadowy Backstreet. Okay, so we're going to go Ballista. Just play Ballista for 4. Yeah. There's some situations where you want to play it for less. So you can play around Mana Leak, and then you can put counters on it. Well, that is actually really, really bad. Jeez, they just ripped that off the top from the Monarchy. And now we are screwed because we can't even... I don't know if we can cast this with counters next turn. That's brutal. Yeah, I think we're just lose now. I can't believe that happened. Pretty tilting. We're not dead on... Oh, no, we are dead on board. We're just dead. Wow. That was a good top deck. We'll see if they see the line. I guess it's a pretty obvious line. Man, that is pretty tilting. Aven Interrupter there. Is there anything we could have done? No, there's not. Man, and this is honestly, their deck is way better than ours too. So, I was very happy to be able to steal games 1 and 2, but now we have to win game 3. We are on the draw, which is or we're on the play, which is good. But yeah, that's tough. Jeez. So they have Parallax Wave, Oust. Do we want to make any changes? Do we want to bring in another land? Doesn't seem like Soul God Lantern is that good. It does hit. Yeah, I think it just hits the one thing. So I'm going to just cut this and bring in Rabble Master on the play. Yeah, let's do that. All right. For all the marbles, let's try to get there. That does a tilting loss for sure. Yeah, they had no cards. Seemed unlosable. Very good hand, though. Kroxa was solid that game, but this game we're trying to be aggressive, so I'm just going to pitch it and try to curve out. If they stumble a little bit, this is a really good draw. This will close out the game very quickly. Of course, if they have clean answers, if they just go, removal spell into removal spell, we don't really have anything. But, this is a hand that's fairly good against Ancestral Recall. Just because we're fighting on different axes. Like, if we're trying to outgrind them, we would just lose to this, but we are not trying to outgrind them. We're trying to hit you for 4 on turn 2, and then hit you for a lot more than that on turn 3. Copter was a really good draw. If they go for Oust on the Rabblemaster, I'll probably just crack the Blood Token and play Rabblemaster again on turn 3. They have 10 cards in hand, but we have 7 permanents in play. Big turn here. What you got? Damn, that's absolute worst case scenario. Yeah, that is just brutal. Oh no! Oh my god. Well, there goes the trophy. That's tough. That definitely feels bad. Is there any path to victory here? No, this is a life linker. Oh, I guess that is actually like our best draw, maybe. Because it stops them from gaining any life. But they just have 6 cards. Like, there's no real possibility that they have nothing here. Do we have any, like, what are even our good top decks in this situation? I'm not sure. The Shocks, they're representing Aven Interrupter. Baleful Mastery, I guess, is a good top deck. I'm not going to use it here, though. I mean, we could start swinging for 6. Yeah, let's do that. Huh. That's kind of annoying because that's also, these are both good draws. Guess I'll discard the Baleful Mastery. I don't really care about my life total, and there's a chance Fire Covenant could tag a second thing. Okay, this is exactly what we're hoping for. So let's do it now while they're tapped out. And they're at 8. It's kind of low. We don't have much burn, though. Oust the Legionnaire into Mother of Runes, okay. Fable's a good draw. Do we want to loot away the Legionnaire? Let's cast this and hit for 1 more. Kind of interesting if we want to loot away the Legionnaire. I think the answer is yes, actually. I think we want things that just like push damage immediately, like just a dude doesn't seem good enough. So down to 4. Okay. I mean, Solitude's gone, so we don't need to worry about that. Ballista's the perfect draw. Wow. Okay, we top decked really well in this game. For sure. Let's just cast the Ballista, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to cast this. Because I don't want them to be able to block something with Mother of Runes. think we do we do. I guess there's no reason to loot or not to loot because Croaks is gone. But I think my top card's bad, so I'm gonna loot. The Wandering Emperor, yeah. All right, so. Ha! I guess that is the reason to loot. Funny. Okay, do we want to minus this ballista to kill the Wandering Emperor? Nah, I don't think so. Ballista seems too good here. They don't crack the Polluted Delta, which is smart because it means that Ballista can't just kill them if we put a counter on it. They've gone through a lot of their, like, good cards that we've seen that we're afraid of. Wow. Their deck is so good. If we were able to sneak this out, that would be crazy. Seeker's Chariot. Okay, so that stabilizes the board very well. But we have flyers from Lingering Souls. It's going to be hard for us to get through on the ground. Oh my god, we're top decking so well. Okay, let's just play Flashback Lingering Souls, hold up Orc. But yeah, we honestly have top deck, like every single card has been perfect. So, alright. I'm a Luxac, you got me. Do we want to trade this Goblin Shaman for... No. I mean, they could even just block the Chariot. We could get a mana from it, but that doesn't really help us here. Okay. In response... Alright, got there. Crazy match. But I will, I'll take it. I'll take the luck. Yep, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Squeaking by. This deck was pretty sweet. It was like low curve, able to curve out really effectively and apply a lot of pressure with high card quality. There's a lot of different cards that carried us. I mean, we had like Copter games, Croaks who completely won some games, Bowmaster's obviously great, Sheoldred, Fable. Just like a lot of different cards that really demanded an answer immediately. Our removal was not the best for a black-red deck, although it was still pretty good. Lingering Souls, also low-key. Absolute champion of a card there. It put in a lot of work several times. That was a surprising league, honestly. That was not like... I feel like there's just a lot of weird games where I either thought I was really ahead and then lost, or vice versa. In particular, Match 3, Game 2. Really did not think we could lose that one. But then they had the Aven Interrupter, and then it all unraveled from there. Really just sweet league, though. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.